The Digital Literacy course at the Emirates College for Advanced Education is an innovative introductory course in the ICT faculty for first-year Bachelor of Education students. The course was designed to introduce the student teacher to a wide range of digital tools for promoting literacy in audio, visual and electronic realms. It was considered an introduction which would be followed up in more depth in later courses of ICT during the 4-year BEd program. The course is designed to bring future teachers into the digital age and prepare them for technology and teaching practices expected in the 21st century classroom. The course is not tied to the ADEC curriculum, but there is a pleasing degree of overlap with the K5 and 6 to 9 curriculum and the Digital Literacy course. The Digital Literacy course addresses teaching methodology, pedagogy and technology. ECAE students must learn the technology not just for their own use, but to be able to teach children how to use it appropriately. It is vitally important that we get the children using the programs and making the productions. Children do not just write one story at school, they write hundreds, and each year we expect the level to improve. The level of digital composition across the span of the school must also evolve. Children need to be taught to become critical digesters of media so that they may become polished producers. School must now take them forward and teach them the structure of communication, the subtleties of style, the nuances and double entendre, and the increasingly more complicated multi-stranded delivery of storylines. These are the same concerns we traditionally would have with written work, but is now in the digital realm. Literacy is evolving. Written literacy has been the traditional focus of schools. Written words were the keys to knowledge. But an infant reader has to be taught to recognise even the beginning of a book and which way up to hold it, which direction to read, and the meaning of words and the functions of punctuation. Visual literacy is understanding and decoding a picture. How we interpret a picture can have psychological, cultural, gender and age variations. Media literacy is an extension of visual literacy and looks at the meaning generated by the medium itself and also the social political messages that it is wrapped in. Computer literacy, on the other hand, is often reduced to a skills-based level of just understanding how to use a computer. Digital literacy is a synthesis of all of these. Improving literacy is a fundamental goal of schooling. Written literacy does not equal the skill of spelling and handwriting. Digital literacy does not equal the skill of operating a computer. To be digitally literate means to understand the form and grammar of digital communication and being critical thinkers. The picture of former President Bush reading a book upside down might humorously illustrate the point that we need to learn which way up to hold a book and imply that he is illiterate. However, this picture actually illustrates the dangers of not being digitally literate. This picture went viral. It spread across the internet like a virus, but it turns out that this is a mashup, a Photoshop. Someone with a political agenda modified the picture and everyone wanted to believe it was real. How do we teach our children to understand and discern that what they see is not always real? The course made use of modern Web 2 options to engage learners, which are also available to them when they move into their future classrooms. The students had their own laptops and access to computer labs for each class. Delivery of the course was initially constrained by the lack of an LMS, Learning Management System, or a shared folder delivery system. This was resolved partway through the first course by the creation of a map drive by IT. Later, the deployment of PowerCampus and Blackboard integrated nicely into the course delivery. Topics covered were all specifically grounded in their application in a classroom setting. The future of ICT education in the UAE was the beginning of the course. Blogs, digital images, photo stories, integrating audio into the classroom, digital video, and digital video editing and publishing. The course also looked at the internet, pitfalls and procedures for use in the classroom. We looked at non-internet based software for learning that might be found on ordinary computers, and the synthesizing of ICT media across the whole curriculum. Students were required to create a delicious account of their own, and they were allocated an individual page hosted on blogspot.com. The blog was to provide a vehicle for submitting material and for students to post a compulsory self-reflective journal. A portfolio of products was collected involving the production of a unique photo demonstrating superimposition, a photo story video demonstrating transactional writing, an audio podcast, a storyboard, and a formal video interview. The course was strongly centred on the internet use of blogs on 3 levels: an overall course blog for general information, a section blog for each of the student group sections which focused on their progress, and an individualised private blog that each student used for weekly diary entries and the submission of portfolio material. Digital literacy is vital for the UAE future teachers. Primary level teachers should be digitally literate to be able to prepare K5 students. The ICT for Digital Literacy course proved its success of equipping K5 student teachers with the required knowledge and skills of using, integrating, implementing and teaching a wide range of ICT. Students' recommendations for improving the course have been taken into consideration. Many factors contributed to the success of the course. Success was measured from the students' course evaluations, from students' feedback, and from the most indelible evidence, the continued use of the techniques and pedagogy in other courses and out in schools where students went on practicum placements to work with children in real classrooms. Ongoing evaluation allowed the course to be streamlined and altered to incorporate the deployment of Blackboard and Power Campus. These changes were written into a course revision which culminated in a second edition of the course. The overall feedback for the ICT digital course was extremely positive.